Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hi everybody, it's nice to finally see you all. I know we had shows scheduled for yesterday and on the weekend. Unfortunately last night I got stuck in town. My car is playing up and not doing all sorts of problems. So yes, my brand new car is not very reliable, unfortunately. So I was stuck and I couldn't get home in time for the show. So we've rescheduled one for tonight, and I'll let you know the other one as soon as the date's popped in and confirmed. So yeah, let us know if you're watching and what you're up to for the weekend, what music you've been listening to. But we've got Matt Ward is going to join us tonight. We might have a chat to him about new music and where we can catch him next. We'll welcome him into the room. Hello.
Hi, Danni. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since we had you on the show.
It's definitely been a while, but it's gone quickly at the same time.
It has. Yeah, it has. I agree. It's been a while and it's gone quickly. It's the whole of COVID did that. It took forever, but it also is kind of quick as well. I don't really know how to but it's true. Oh, dear. What have you been up to? You've been quiet for a few months. We were talking, and what have you been up to in the last few months?
Yeah, so I think about this time, November last year, I released my second album, If I Was in Dallas Tonight, and then I had a tour leading up to that release across South Australia, and I was due to go to New South Wales and Victoria as well, but Delta and then Omicron shut all that down. So, but I was still lucky enough to tour in South Australia, and then Tamworth, I played Groundwater, which was a lot of fun. Then Tamworth got shut down, and there's my dog, by the way. Sorry,
looking at shadows still.
Shadows still. There we go. That's the
He's very entertained. I wish that worked on my cats, because I would just light on all night.
He's looking at the moon. I whether deliberately or subconsciously, I took a bit of a break. It's been a really busy 3 years with 2 albums, and then in July I took some holidays, and I went down and spent some time with Matt Fell, producer down in Tassie, and my friend Amber as well, and started writing again. And I've written a bunch of stuff. I've got a couple of songs, lots of songs on my sleeve. I've recorded one project song, you would call it, which is pretty exciting for something here in South Australia next year, but can't say too much. But I'm really excited about releasing that song. And also went into the studio with my Adelaide band here and recorded so some live stuff, and that live stuff is new material, and it's a little bit different as well. So got a whole range of things up the sleeves. So some more studio stuff, some live stuff, and a special project song as well. So I think next year's going to be busy. Oh, I also started a record label. So
just something else just to throw in there. What made you choose to go and start a record label? What was your driving?
Well, I mean, to be honest, with technology these days, you can do a lot of things. And so being able to distribute music online with some platforms fairly easily enables you to, I guess, create a label, but enables you to also create a community. And I've got a number of friends in the music business, and they're fantastic songwriters, and they might fall between the crack a little bit between mainstream and maybe some of the other alternative stuff. So I'm sort of reaching out to a few people and hopefully can create a community around that. So Amber Ray Slade, I've supported her to get her album out there. So re-released on her album, as well as a new single for her. And so I think her and I want to continue to work together a little bit, and maybe even play together or tour a bit together next year as well.
That's exciting. Just have a quiet year by the sound of you. Kaz is in the room. She said hello, and she said it's good. Partner in crime is there and excited about new music. Is he there still? He's still watching Shadows. And Jonathan's popped in. He's watching from the UK and he's come in to say hi.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, he's so shiny. Look how healthy he is.
Let's get him in here. Why not?
Such a happy boy. Why not? Why not? I wish my animals were as well behaved as that. Doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah, fair enough.
So tell us your latest single, Too Drunk to Two-Step. When did this idea come about? And tell us a little bit about why you've released it now.
Yeah, so it wasn't my album, so it's been out there for a little while, but it was always intended to be a single. And the inspiration for the song is I actually came home one night after a few too many drinks and tried to two-step with a friend, and that didn't quite work. And then I remember coming out with the chorus, right? Well, literally the one or two lines of the chorus just then. And then I started to think, when I revisited the song, I started to picture an old timer in a dive bar with lots of young kids coming through and trying to take over the bar and stuff like that. And it just made me picture that scenario in my mind, and that's what I'm just trying to paint as well. So it's kind of tongue in cheek, a little bit social commentary and a bit self-deprecating too, to always remember the history of country music and pay respect to everyone around you as well.
Yes. Well, it's a great song. And as you were saying before about your album, the links, I forgot to mention, the links are in the comments for your YouTube and your Spotify. So you can go up there and have a listen to the album if you haven't already heard it when we're finished. But not yet. Not just yet. So this one, it started when you were drinking. I would have struggled to remember it the next day if I was too drunk to two-step. I wouldn't have remembered the lyrics. Did you write it there and then, like those down, or how did you just remember them when you were good?
That's a very good question. I think I just remembered it. So I think the only line I had was, "I'm too drunk to do step. I'm too drunk to dance." But I did remember it the next day, and I had a thread going. And it's funny when you're songwriting, all you need is a little. A snippet of something just to give you, if you analogy of a spine, even to give you just like one vertebra in your backbone, sometimes that's enough to then build the rest of the backbone from. So you just need one little nugget there, and if you remember that nugget, you can build off that. And even other songs, you either some songs come out straight away. Sometimes you don't have the time for that, but if you do know that you have something there, however big or small, I can still build on that anyway. So
yeah. And do you write specifically ready for your next album, or do you just write what comes and then choose where it might fit into releasing and things?
That's a really good question. I've written since about 2012, 2013, so for the last 10 or so years, and I still draw from some of the older songs. So If I Was in Dallas Tonight, drew from a couple of older songs as well. Certainly the first and the last songs were songs I didn't write. I wrote back in 2014. And I could have recorded them in my first album, but they didn't fit the vibe. So it depends what songs you have, and then I start to think, okay, how can these fit together into a bit of a story, a bit of a narrative, or a bit of a theme. At the moment, for example, a lot of the music I've written, I can hear some stuff that's suitable for my Adelaide band that's a bit more Neil Youngy and alternative, and then I can hear some more Australian sort of country storytelling type of songs, which I might save for the studio a little bit. And then, I've got songs which I've specifically always wanted to write about things in my life, not events per se, but part of the community around me, or part of the Adelaide community or Norwood community where I live. And I've always had in the back of my mind, I'd love to write a song about that. And when I was down in Tassie, I sat down and I wrote a couple of those, and so they might just be more specific songs for certain things. So I'm lucky enough now to be in the position to be able to, keep writing, and then you see how it all pulls together.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, I know when you were down here, you were very busy in the studio recording and things, but it's such a lovely place. I wondered whether you had time to sort of sit and take it in and do a bit of writing while you're here, because everyone always says that they love how peaceful it is and how they can. About to lose my notebook. It's about to fall off, so I'm just going to remove it. It's having a moment.
That's
yes.
Right.
Yeah, have you had that time to enjoy? Because I know you were here for a little while, and it's nice that people get to come down here to record now.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly spent plenty of time writing. So I was staying with Matt Fell and Amber, and Matt was touring with the Whitlams, I think, at the time. Amber was away a little bit, and I looked after their property for a little bit as well. So I lots of bushwalks, but with the dog, and also but waking up and just writing and spending the morning writing. So I have a pretty busy day job at the same time, and so to have that dedicated time aside to do the writing was absolutely necessary. And I am probably more aware now that I need to continue to do that and set that time aside. So
yeah, make some actual time for it rather than thinking, I'll do that next week or I'll do it again. Yeah, taking some time out, I guess.
Exactly.
We had plenty of time out with COVID, and now we've already forgotten how to put that in again, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right. So, but I came back and I had a studio room in my house that was dedicated to practice. And I actually switched that around a little bit to make it a bit more of a creative space rather than just purely practice. So I put the drum kit away and I put a few instruments away, and and that's worked as well. So
wonderful. So you're just realigning it for what you need it to be at the time.
That's right.
Jane has popped in and said good evening.
Hello, Jane. How are you?
And Kaz, what did Kaz say? One of her favourite songs on the album was this one. Yeah, I was, because you said it was intended to be a single, and it's interesting hearing why artists release albums first or last after they've released singles. What was your reasoning for doing the album and then releasing more music off of it as, I guess, radio singles? What was your thing behind that? I always like hearing why people do things.
Yeah, so certainly leading up to releasing the album, you want to release new music and you want to give people an indication of what's on the album and of good songs. And
still there, I can see you saying.
It's hilarious. And you also want to drop some of your best songs as well. And I tried to do that as part of that process. And because of COVID, I started recording the album in September 2019, and I could drop some of that stuff, and I was maintaining momentum off my first album. And then, COVID definitely put a dent in things. I had the break, and I just knew that there was songs from the album that if people hadn't bought the album or people weren't aware of the entire album, that I could still put that music out there for them to hear. And Two Drums for Two Set was always in that type of single type of space. So re-releasing it was to connect with my audience again, essentially. I started this little label, Heartland Music Australia. It was a perfect thing to do under that guise, and I'd had the success with the album, and so it was a little bit lower pressure, if that makes sense. So
yeah, that does. Yeah. No, I always love hearing why they do it, because everyone has their own justifications and whatever works for them. But I like to hear the stories behind. Now, I know we're getting close to the end of the year, but have you got any shows coming up where people can find you in the next little bit before the year?
No. So I'm in South Australia. So unless you're in South Australia, you definitely can. A lot of the audience is on the East Coast, I imagine. But I always have a Christmas show, and this year's on the Friday, the 23rd of December. And I'm just going to save things up for that show. And I had a few shows in the middle of the year, but that's going to be a really fun, big show, and I know lots of people are going to be there. So, and it's a free show, and trying a couple of things with the band, of having a fiddle player inside with the band as well, and so it's going to be just a lot of fun. And then next year will be definitely more dedicated to potentially touring and more regular shows, and Heartland Music Australia putting on some shows as well.
Yeah. Oh, how fantastic! And are you going to head to Tamworth in January?
No, not this year. I made that call, unless I somehow out of the blue get a nomination, but
you never know.
That's right. But we'll wait and see. But certainly the following year. So
yeah, lovely. Well, it's so hard this year because I think it feels strange because it's almost just been. And it's like we're not quite ready because it is such a big, and I don't think people that don't play or see those behind the scenes things, Tamworth takes a lot of organising for an artist and finding a venue, organising a venue and trying to save the money it's a very hard, expensive 10 days for artists. So I can understand not.
That's
not
right.
being,
You have to be so well planned as well, and it's Tamworth's difficult.
it is.
So hats off to everyone that stuck it out for 20 years straight, such as Roll and the like. So
exactly. No, it is a difficult one, and it's a fun one, and we all have fun, but it is hard. And also now that a lot of artists since COVID have gone back to doing other jobs as well as their music career, and you've always had the two jobs and managed, and I don't know how you've done that, but you would have to time in your shows and things with leave, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. So so you have to make that call of when do I want to save some of that time off, and is it for Tamworth or is it for doing some shows elsewhere interstate and from South Australia it's difficult because if you're in Sydney or the like, you can take your Sydney people because they're all probably part of the same community and playing for other people. So your band's going to be there. From Adelaide, it's a little bit different, it's a bit more difficult.
Exactly. So. Yeah, no, that is the hard part. And you guys, I know over the years haven't had as many artists coming down. Has that picked up a bit for you guys in South Australia or not?
It's slowly picking up. So slowly picking up. And there's been a number of artists that have relocated back to Adelaide or come home back to Adelaide. So those shows are started to play out a little bit as well. So, which is great. So, but all you can do is do the hard work. And so I think next year, just being well planned and doing some stuff around the label that can help support the release of my own music as well is probably the approach I'll take. And bring people to South Australia from interstate that wouldn't necessarily come here. So that's the plan, and hopefully then reciprocate elsewhere. So you have to create a community.
Yeah, work exactly right. Work as a team and get those people on the ground helping each other. Kaz said it's a bummer. She was looking forward to seeing you, and she'll have to go to Adelaide to see you. I think that's a good idea, Kaz. I think that's a great idea.
You're welcome to, and there's a spare bed if you want, Kaz. So.
I think the Christmas show sounds fun. I wish I could get there for that. I love Christmas shows. I think it's great fun. Yeah, we did a couple through COVID because everybody was stuck. So we did a couple online, and that was fun. I've always been a fun dress up and enjoy Christmas, but I just want to sit here all night and see how long your dog takes to get bored of looking at those shadows because it's so focused.
He's looking outside now, so I'm not sure what he's looking at.
Is it time for a walk, maybe?
No, he's definitely had a good run. So, it's just lights and shadows. So,
he's gorgeous. How old is he now?
He'll be 2 and 6 days.
Yeah, that's gone so quick. I'm thinking he's fully grown. He's just so happy, and I wish my animals. I need to swap you for a week. You can come and house sit my house and train my animals, and then I'll come back. But thank you so much for joining us. As I said, it seems like so long. But before we go, where's the best place to keep up with your new music and things? Is Facebook, social media, website? What's the best for you?
I would say, social media, so Facebook and Instagram, Matt Ward, and I also have a website, mattwardmusic.com, and you can find my music and albums for sale at mattwardmusic.com.
WARD Music. I'll put that in the comment now for you guys, mattwardmusic.com. I might just do the www bit so you can copy the link.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's there for you guys. So my platform's changed a little bit. I can post things like that now from here. It's
very professional. It's fantastic.
It's much easier, isn't it, this way than we used to do it. And then to put this goes straight to YouTube, and we used to have to spend probably another hour and a half to download the video, change the format, and get it back onto YouTube before. And now it does it in one go, one button, and I'm there.
Amazing.
So good. Means that we can fit more shows in.
I'll probably have a music video coming out soon. So I released another single, American Road, which is the last song on the album, and that's probably the last I'll release off the album. So the album's done, and now I can move forward. And I've released that because it's a really epic song. And if you have a listen to the ending of it, there's some amazing vocals from Katie, Brianna, and I've made a video for that, and I made that with a friend just on my iPhone. So it's the first time I've made my own video. And I've been comping that the last week, and it's looking really, really fantastic. So keep a lookout for that.
So when you were doing that, did that start a whole different creative process for you? Like obviously writing and recording, but it's a whole big different thing when you've got a camera to deal with as well.
Yeah. I've always been a bit of a photographer. A lot of the picture and the where to shoot and the like came fairly naturally, I think. But yeah, the whole video thing of how much footage do we need, and where do we need footage, and what am I doing, and what's the story, and what do we need to organise, what time do we need to leave, and blah blah blah, blah. So there was a lot more to it, and we kind of winged it as well, but we have got some really stunning images, and it's going to be in black and white, and it's in rural South Australia, and so it's going to be really specky. So I'm really, really proud to have done that, and just the creative time I've had it since July has been liberating, put it that way.
I can't wait to see that. That sounds fantastic. And I know that it sounds like silly when you're doing black and white. The lighting still affects it though. And there's just so many things. If you spend too long on one thing and then the sun's moving and it's just everything. Yeah, all in one go.
Yeah, we got lucky with a big contrasty type of day, so that's good.
That's perfect. Yes. Oh, that's so lovely to hear. I hope you're going to keep doing that and keep on searching that side of you and enjoying it, going from photos, music. Oh, there's a few more people popping in. Kaz said that Katie Brianna is awesome too. Jonathan said to say goodbye, and Cynthia has said she just tuned in after dinner from Melbourne. Wow, that sounds nice. I haven't had dinner yet. It may be an early night with a piece of toast. Thank you for joining us, Cynthia. But thank you for joining us, Matt. I know that it's been a little while, so we'll have to get you on again early in the next year, or for your next single. If you're going to release that before the year's out.
No, so American Road's out, and I think that's might be it. Unless I do. So I've got my Adelaide band recordings. I've got a special project song about Adelaide next year, and I'll be probably doing some more recordings, most likely with Matt Fell potentially. So keep a lookout for next year. So. Well,
we might have to catch up and do a live interview.
Sounds good. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, I'll come for a drive. It'll be summer then, potentially. It'll be a bit warmer out there. But
sounds good.
You need to watch for snakes then. There's a lot up that way.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, watch the dog. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back at 8 o'clock. I think it's 7:30 now. We're back at 8 o'clock with Billy Joe Porter, who we've had to move to tonight. So finally it's happening. But thank you again, Matt. And if you haven't already heard Matt's album, head up to, there's a Spotify link and there's a YouTube link. Have a look there so that you can have a listen to all the songs on the album. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. And thanks for
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.